And welcome to Bake Night
with the Backstage Bakers.
I'm Amy.
And I'm Shannon.
And I'm a mom, podcaster, and lover of theater.
I'm a professional visual artist and aspiring children's book author.
It's our job to make you look good at your next party.
All right, so Amy, what are we making for Bake Night tonight?
Well, I was totally inspired by Italy today. And also, I got a fantastic idea from Milkstreet. Have you seen this magazine?
Not till I come to your house.
So
I've seen it now.
Milkstreet had this wonderful recipe of a crostata. And if you are not familiar with a crostata, it is a pie of the past. So we're in Renaissance, circa mid-century for this, but this is the type of pie that they would make in the past. So it's super simple, but people are super daunted by pie crusts.
Yeah, I am. It seems like really scary to make pie
Everyone's
crust.
always worried, like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna have it flaky or light, but this is super simple. Yes, that's
So
the
make pie, make crostata.
Make crostata. So it's, like I said, very simple.
Crostata.
Crostata.
It's very beautiful.
Fun, and
very
it's fun
rustic.
to say. And to not forget the boozy part, you know what we get to use? Limoncello di Sicilia. So limoncello is also from Italy, and I love Italy. So I
Glad you have the accent down because I don't. All Italian words will be said by Amy, not me.
And if you're Italian, I'm probably butchering it, so I apologize.
We all apologize.
Let's get on with the fun. So,
So where do we begin?
So a cup of flour. We are using the food processor just to make everything cut up faster.
Okay. If you don't have a food processor, what could you possibly use?
You can use a pastry cutter. That's a fantastic question.
Okay.
And I will pop one up on the screen so that you know what a pastry cutter is, but it's a little tool where you can cut the butter and stuff in. I have pre-cut our butter.
Okay.
So
and how much?
And this is 10 tablespoons of butter.
That's a lot of butter.
It is. Okay, so this is from the past, so there's very few ingredients. We've got butter, sugar, flour, and salt.
And water.
That's it. And water.
And water.
Yeah. So
right.
That's it. That's all the ingredients.
That's the rustic part.
That's the rustic
The
part of
rustic
it.
Italian part.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This butter I pulled out of the fridge right before we started recording. So it is hard, and that's what you want. You
Hard,
need to
cold
keep
butter. Okay.
everything hard and cold. That's also why we're using the food processor, because it's fast and we can keep it cold. A half a teaspoon of salt. And
Oh my god. Sorry.
food processor
I don't have a food
running
processor.
away. So
I don't even know how it goes together.
I'm just gonna pop this part on.
Okay, so you just do the salt, the flour, and the butter.
Yes,
not
and
the
then
water.
yes, and then we are going to zap it a few times. So there's a pulse,
Okay.
and so it's just gonna.
Well, I think we have to plug it in.
You have to plug it in first. Now that the food processor is plugged in, we're just gonna pulse it a couple of times, and we'll show you what it looks like. There we go. There we go. Perfect.
That's it?
That's it for this step.
Okay.
Okay, so that was the flour, butter, and salt. You can see that there's still some really big chunks in there. I'm gonna take this little part out. Actually, I'm gonna take the whole top part off and slide in the sugar. We're gonna give that a couple more pulses. And that was a tablespoon of sugar. We will need about 3 tablespoons, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with 3 to 3.5 tablespoons of ice cold water. And
Why does it need to be ice cold?
because that keeps the butter
cold. Oh.
So you can see it's nice and grainy, and if I take it in my hand, that's what I'm getting. So you saw, that's all nice and pebbly. So, and we can squeeze it together, it's a dough.
Okay.
Right.
That's simple. I didn't think it was that simple to make pastry dough.
No, it is people are afraid of it, and I understand why, because it's easy to mess up, but it's really easy if you just know, keep it cold, and don't play with it too much.
Oh, because then like the heat of your hands would probably start to melt the butter.
Absolutely.
See?
Put it in the fridge and let it cool for 2 hours. Let the gluten develop a little bit. Then we're gonna roll it out for the next step.
So,
Welcome back.
Yes, while the dough is in the fridge for the next 2 hours, Amy has cut up peaches.
Yes, and half of these peaches we are going to save for later, and this half we're putting in a container. Yes.
Bye peaches.
Bye peaches.
See you in a little while.
This one I am going to cover with our limoncello. So,
Oh my gosh. Okay, so how many peaches, like this is how many peaches?
this is 2 smallish to medium peaches, and I'm not going to cover them in limoncello, but
I get very boozy.
right, we're just going to get enough in there for them to absorb. Kind of like a sangria, but it's limoncello.
Nice. Lovely.
Buonasera! Welcome back. That means buonasera means good evening in Italian.
Oh, very nice.
So,
We're learning more
good
things.
evening, good afternoon. So we have our disc of dough that we made earlier for our
Dough disc.
crostata. Yes, our
Dough
dough disc. And I'm just going to unwrap it. I've let it sit out for about 5 minutes. I don't want it room temperature at all. I still want it to be cold to preserve those butter bits. But I don't
not
want
so
it to be
cold
a
that
rock.
Right. Like a roll around.
So, exactly.
A rock and roll.
And we wrapped this up really well. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour. This is just all-purpose flour. Just sprinkle a little bit around on my pastry mat. You can use your counter, but I like to use a pastry mat because it's easier to clean. And also, I'm supposed to roll this little 5-inch-ish disc out to 11 inches. And this mat tells me where the inches are. So yay!
It's a helpful mat.
It is a helpful mat. So I'm going to take and put my disc down, and I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit more flour on the top.
Lemon zest, the zest of 1 lemon, and then we're gonna put that right into with these peaches.
And you won't taste that lemon too terrible much in with the peaches if you make this without the booze. But it really just, lemon heightens the flavor of the fruit you're using. Now you can use nectarines, peaches, raspberries,
yep.
all kinds of fruits. Whatever, if you're not a peach person, swap out the fruit and still make the crostata.
How's your crust going there?
It is going fantastic. Okay, so it's about at 11 inches right now.
And you don't have like a beautiful edge, so that's
No,
cool, right?
it's
You don't need to be all pretty.
It's a pie from the 12th century. It is not supposed to be perfect.
Right.
This is
Rustic.
It is rustic.
Rustic.
Although
Italian rustic.
you would probably be a pretty wealthy person to have all of these things. So,
Right.
we're still royalty here.
Okay.
So I just sprinkled the turbinado sugar, and in this case I'm using turbinado sugar on the back of the crust. So I'm going to roll it in, so it is going to make this beautiful sugared crust when it cooks.
Nice.
So,
you
and you
use
can use regular sugar.
Right, you use regular sugar before. We thought it would be fancy since we're royalty.
Fancy. Exactly.
So turbinado sugar is like the way to go.
Yes.
All right. So there's a little trick coming up here, isn't there, about how you're going to get this thing.
There is, because I like to use the mat. Now, I put flour down, so hopefully this isn't stuck too much on there. But I'm going to take my mat and put it over.
Another useful mat.
And I'm going to
There.
flip that over.
Awesome.
Yay! Okay, so then I can peel this off, and which is much easier than unsticking it.
Oh,
Gravity's
right.
working with me. Okay, now
Now we're
slide
gonna-
that tray over,
Okay.
and we're going to side, we need sugar side down, okay? And I just had a little piece of my crostata flop off. That is totally fine. This is not a perfect
thing.
pie. And so I'm gonna just slide that on to our mat. Go ahead and pull that over, would you please? Perfect.
All right.
All right.
Look at that.
Then you're going to take your fruit
Not peaches.
and dump it into the center.
And they are starting to juice a little bit, but
Right.
it's like a nice syrupy sauce at this point.
Exactly. And put it right in the center.
All right.
So now we're just gonna take, I'll slide this so I don't have to reach so far. Short arms,
Big sleeves.
right? Short arms and big sleeves. And we're gonna just kind of layer this over. Like I said, little pieces fall off, not a big deal.
No big deal. And
Um,
it's okay to leave the center open a little bit.
Yes, you want the center open because it will let out steam that way. So we have a little underfilled crostata, and then we're gonna pop it in the oven at 450.
Okay, for how long?
425 for only about 12 to 15 minutes.
That's pretty fast.
It is pretty fast.
All right.
Buonasera! We're back!
We're back.
And it's baked! So look at how lovely this came out. Now I'm going to show you a trick. This is not a super easy thing to move, but it's on parchment paper. So we've got our cutting board ready, and ta-da!
Voila. Look at that.
And all we have to do is
Magic.
then cut the paper around it.
All right, you cut and I'll get our party peaches.
And these have soaked for a couple of hours and got limoncello. So now it is time to cut it.
And today we have a lovely taste tester.
We do. Matt, you want to come join us?
Buongiorno, ladies. So what do we have?
We have one of your favorites.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Crostata.
All right.
So, but of course with our special flavor.
Ooh, crostata with a kick. I like it.
Yes. Kick you in the butt.
Yeah.
Here you go, Mr. Matt.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we've said your name a lot in this episode. We're using these silicone mats.
Oh, they
Silicone mats.
really
No, you're silicone mats.
Exactly.
Silicone mats. We know you're.
I didn't even make
You know,
that.
it's subliminal. I like it.
I know,
The introduction, the
You
subliminal
were ready to
introduction. It's
come in
very
on
good.
this episode.
I
Yes.
did much better plating yours.
All right, there you go. Thank you.
Smells really good.
We do different sugar on the outside this time.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
nice.
use the turbinado. Did you
Oh,
notice?
it's
So,
a little more crunchier. Yeah,
a
yeah.
little crunchier and prettier, actually.
Yes.
So,
You can definitely taste the limoncello and the peaches.
you get a different flavor and a little bit different texture, a little firmer.
From
because it's
the
not
cook
squishy.
versus the yeah.
So, for your next party, don't bring a pie, bring a crostata.
All right. So that.
Wait. Be sure to
Oh,
subscribe
like,
to our
share.
channel, like, share, and thank you.
You're
for coming
welcome.
on.
But love to come back anytime. Thank you. You all right? You're dying? It's so good you might choke to death. But other than that, it's great. If you don't die, it's wonderful. I mean, you know, so yeah.
Yep.
Totally make this for your enemies or maybe your friends. It's all good.
And that's a wrap.
Yeah, and that's a wrap.
All